Hey YouTube, it's Steve again. I want to give you the story of Albion and the story of the Timbersprout 5 from the very beginning. So we started this campaign 3 years ago maybe, and it was a group of ambitious pilgrims wanted to leave Hoden Bay, which had been getting a little bit corrupt, and they wanted to head off and start their own home. So this is the 3 wagons heading about a day and a half journey north of Hoden Bay, and the men, women, and children, probably 3 or 4 families, got together and said, we're going to head out and stake our claim out in the lush potential land north of Hoden Bay. So what happened was a band of elves who were very skeptical of the Celts, and they had some suspicions that they needed to stay south, while this group headed a little bit too far north and were ambushed by the elves. This elven faction, they weren't going to be violent at first, but the ambitious pilgrims out of Hoden Bay chose violence by shooting arrows and attacking the elves, which was a big mistake. So these elves made light work of all the men and even some of the women before opening the middle wagon, throwing open the door, and deciding whether to kill or spare. Very angry, and young Rupert stole the blade off of the belt of the general of the elven faction and thrust it into his side. Now the general's right-hand elf began to unsheath his weapon in an attempt to defend his leader, and the leader said, stop, for this boy shows heart, and we will spare the rest of these adventurers. The women and children were spared. All the men died though, and young Rupert was given this blade, and the leader of the elves, said, maybe this blade will bring you more luck than I, for it has betrayed me. And it was a very special elven crafted fine blade dagger given to Rupert. Inside this wagon were 3 other young, 5, 6-year-old, 6 years old being Rupert, along with Bastion, Sam, Blake, and Edward, among a few other younger, and mostly the elder women. So they were spared, and the leader of this elven faction told his men to etch the elven symbol of safety and do not harm on all the wagons, which the elders later thought would be smart to etch the symbol on the walls and the towers of their new home, later to be called Timbersprout. And as these young 5, 6-year-old boys grew older, they would later be known as the Timbersprout 5. So the elves delved back into the woods, back to their home, allowing the survivors to adventure on, heading north about a day and a half journey into their new home, where they stake their claim and begin to build. And we will pick this story up. This was the first episode or encounter of the Timbersprout 5 heading to their new home on the Pilgrim Trail from Hoden Bay. Until next time, peace.